I've been very aggressive since I took office, and people like that. And one of the things, you know, you see a lot of politicians on there that try to read off a script, and they try to please everybody. I just tell them what's on my mind, and they seem to really like that. I've done really well in my elections since then. But now I do work hard. You know, when the floods hit, I stop what we're doing, and you know, some supervisors can't do that. You know, they have different jobs, and they have to show up. But you know, fortunate for me, I can stop what I'm doing and go help. We've always had equipment at our fingertips. We can go help people, you know, and not have to go through the government stuff and getting it approved and getting funding, and whether you can or can't do it, we can go help. So that, you know, that helps a lot. And you know, in Buchanan County, there's a lot of people. You know, we have a lot of people pass. We got a lot of elderly people there. We've always, you know, ever since I've had equipment over 20 years, we've went and dug graves for free, things like that for the community. And that, you know, I've been in office 14 years. I've been doing that for over 20. So just an old knothead teenager, out young 20s, going around doing that. And that's something my dad taught me growing up. You know, you need to help people when you can, and my mom. So, but you know, I'm just honest with people. I try to do everything I can to help them out. And
do you think pressure brings out what's real?
I think so. You know,
does that make sense?
For instance, during a flood, you get the worst out of some people and you get the best out of some people. 90% is good. Some of the people that you think would never help are there sweating helping you. Some people that you think would be the first one there kind of let you down and very disappointing and kind of stingy on, you know, comes down once to get everything loaded in their car, but you know, it brings out the worst or the best.
You know, I used to keep 2 tractor trailers on the road bringing food and supplies in for all the time, and we've done it for years. My wife and I, we distributed over, with the help of friends, over 3 million pounds in 1 year. That's awesome. And when we first started, we were getting 50,000 pounds of potatoes at a time. That's what we got in bags, 50-pound bags of potatoes, 50,000 pounds. And we didn't even have a forklift. People would come and help us, and we would line up and make a chain all the way into the building where we would stack them in the hallway and stack those potatoes up, and then people come and we give people potatoes. And somehow somebody come one day and said, "Why don't you take a chain and hook to a truck and pull them pallets to the back?" I thought, a genius. It's just walking.
We've had to do that a lot.
I thought, and then we finally got a pallet jack, and that was like we were millionaires when we got that. But I mean, you think about stuff. It seems like the pressure, and I believe that sometimes that pressure causes. And there's things in all of us we need to know about us, and we don't know it till we get a little pressure on us. And I think about a sponge on the side of the sink. You think it's clean till you squeeze it sometimes, but you're washing dishes with. But in our life, we need a little pressure, and that'll bring it out. And because sometimes there's stuff we need to take care of. I've had a time or two in my life that I thought I was a better person than what I was, and then the pressure hit, and I said, "Well, I didn't even know that was still in me."
You know, when I first got into politics, I never saw myself as a politician or an elected official, and you know, I just repeatedly seen my district do without or get put last on the list, and I thought, you know, why don't the elected officials do this, this, and this? And you know, I've always said, well, I've always told people, if you think you can do better, do it. And I thought I could do better, so I tried it, and I feel like I've done a good job. My voters have stood behind me, and it you know, it's just a constant battle to fight for those people. And there's a lot of people that wouldn't have a voice if it wasn't for me. And I do. Is it pleasant being a supervisor? By no means. I tell people that, you know, 95% of being a supervisor is terrible. You get investigated, you get harassed, you got people trying to take you out all the time.